call our Thursday, November 13th, 2025 Library Board meeting to order. And we will look over the meeting minutes from our October meeting and see if there's any additions or corrections that anyone has. Okay, does anyone have any additions or corrections, or do I hear a motion to accept our board meeting minutes from October 9th, 2025?
I'll move to accept the minutes from October.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second, we have a motion and a second to accept our approval of our meeting minutes from October 10th, 2025. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We will go on to our treasurer's report, and we can circulate approval of claims. Chris?
So we see the month of October there in the financial report. The start of the year is the operating fund was at 1.6 million, and as of current, it's basically at the same dollar amount compared to the same time last year at 1.43 million. Gift fund is down a little bit from last year, not just a couple of about $100. Rainy days got the transfer from last year's budget in there, but the rest of them are basically clearing accounts. So we're at a little over 2 million compared to 1.7 million this time last year in all accounts. The appropriation report. Next month, unless he's got it on here, doesn't look like it. We'll do a transfer in the FICA category. But basically, we want to see all accounts on the right side there be above 16.67. Personnel services, they're all right in line there, except for FICA. And so we're 3% above budget, and personnel services supplies doesn't have any correlating issues there, so we're 23% above budget. Usually, in other services and charges, we usually have about 5 accounts there that are about an issue, but we don't have an account below 16.67 there for the rest of the 2 months. So we've got a little bit of wiggle room in there, 19.5% above budget. And then in capital outlays, we're 19.5% above budget there as well. So from a grand total, 10.5% above budget.
Does that mean the anticipated needs, you had enough money in the account?
Well, we did earlier for the budget for 25. We kind of seen some of the things that Cody and the staff wanted to do, so they tried to appropriate funds where they needed to go. When you have repairs and stuff.
Unexpected.
Correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't that come out of other professional services legal?
Repairs to what?
Just to the building in general.
To the building in general, that would actually come out of
I was looking at it.
building and structures repairs 3.21. We still have 13 in that category, almost 14,000.
3.21. Yeah.
Yep.
What comes out of professional services legal and technology? That's one that's always historically been an issue. I can't remember.
That one is one that is, it's a little bit of a catch-all because it's a very broad category. We're able to do hoop law spending out of that one because it comes to the database spending, domain spending, anything legal or technologically related. We generally take out of that one. as long as, unless it's like a physical object, like a computer would come out of furniture and equipment. But if it's like a software thing, then none of that would come out of that one. But we generally keep that one high, and it has a lot of expenditures out of that one because it's a fairly broad category.
To answer the question,
I did pretty
we did a
well.
lot of appropriating where
Yeah.
each saw things were gonna come out in 25.
Yeah.
Any questions or anything on the treasurer's report? Okay, have a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I move we accept it as presented.
And a second?
Matt second.
Oh, Matt seconded, okay. Motion and a second to accept our treasurer's report. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Okay. Cody, we'll hear your director's report.
So programming collections, showing at Jurassic Park had 5 attendees. The next showing is going to be Toy Story next week on the 21st. We had 13 attendees for the Spooky Stories of Indiana program. 25 people came to our Fall Harvest Festival. So starting tomorrow, we are going to be doing a program called Sandwich Palooza. We contacted 4 of the local restaurants, and then we were actually contacted by a 5th. So we are going to be having a sandwich from each of these restaurants over 5 different days. Each restaurant has their own day, and then people can come in, taste the sandwich, and then at the end they're able to vote on which restaurant had the best sandwich. And then that restaurant, we're giving them plaque from Amazon.
I've seen that shared on Facebook. How'd that come about?
We were looking at stuff, with government shutdown, SNAP benefits, and we were thinking, is there any way that we could do anything to assist anybody? And it was one of the things, hey, we could do this, it'd be a fun contest, have some community competition and promote local businesses along the way, and then if somebody had a sandwich when they were hungry, more the better.
So how do they know how many sandwiches to prepare?
So we approached them, we said, what can we get for about $200? We're hoping to get between, I was hoping for about 20 sandwiches from each place, be able to cut them in half and offer about 30 to 40 half sandwiches. Tomorrow we're having Stan's Barbecue, and they are providing pulled pork and enough for about 32 sandwiches.
Who are the 5, just in case if somebody hasn't seen it? Stan's,
Stan's, Martha's, Moyer's, Times Square, and Hebrew.
Basically all the sandwich shops are in town here.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
Annual ornament contest is going to begin on the 17th. Patrons are able to come in and pick up their materials, and then that needs returned to us by December 5th. Voting starts on the 9th, I believe. On November 19th, we will have an Abraham Lincoln impersonator here at the library. This is the anniversary of the Gettysburg Address. That is the 19th. So he is actually going to recite the Gettysburg Address on the anniversary. So that's pretty cool. On December 4th, we will have a Manchester Civic Band here to play a holiday concert. December 9th, we're going to have that be a pretty big evening here. We are going to have Santa here at 6 o'clock, and we're going to have some crafts and a snack there. And then at 7, we have the Philharmonic here to perform Twas the Night Before Christmas as part of their Stories of Music program. So what they've done in the past, they have the storybook on the screen, they've read the page, and then they play associated music. So those have been very well attended, so we're hoping to have a pretty full house for that one. And we've already had some people asking if they have to reserve spots, and they do not. December 10th, we're going to have the Still Standing duo doing an additional concert. We have, I think, 4 concerts in total in December. We started developing our winter reading challenge. Our theme is going to be Icebound Adventures. That's going to be able to tie into the 2026 Winter Olympics because it's around the same time frame, but it's a broad enough category that we're not locked into the Olympic theme, so we can do other stuff as well. Staff and library development. The hygiene pantry is in development. I talked about that last time. We've developed a plan for operating and are currently seeking donations to get it all started. We have the cabinet and some organizational baskets. The health department donated toothbrushes and toothpaste. We're looking into grants to be able to fund that as well. The marketing plan was completed shortly after the last meeting. We've been discussing some different opportunities and are looking at pursuing those to a greater degree in 2026. Tara, Katie, and I attended the ILF annual conference. We're going to meet and discuss some of the information that they had to see what ideas they may have had from the sessions. I primarily went to financial sessions, hoping to get some more information about the future financial state of libraries, and a large part of the answers that we all got was we don't know. So that was very, not discouraging, but a little frustrating. But there was one that gave me some ideas for potential cost savings in the future. So that's something that I'm going to look at for 26. We've done our annual program review and are looking at making a few changes, but a lot of what we're doing is working pretty well. Outreach, Friends of the Library still trying to raise funds for the 501c3 application. We are looking at co-sponsoring a concert with the Parks Board for July 26th. There was a gentleman who came to the library and donated 3 collectible coins to use in their student essay contest. We're still working on getting those instructions for the contest put together, and I'm hoping to be able to run that early next year. And he wished to remain anonymous. Building, the HVAC compressor has been repaired. The side door leading to the parking lot was broken for about a day. The arm at the top, it detached from the frame, so it was still attached to the door, but not the frame. But we were able to get that repaired the next morning. Shambaugh & Son also did their inspection of the fire extinguishers. That was a couple months ago. And I reached out to them to actually get them to come back and replace the ones that needed it, and that's happened. Technology, we've received quotes to choose from for the managed internal broadband service. That's just the building's Wi-Fi. There were 3 companies that provided quotes. We'll look at those a little bit more detail later on. We received the quote to replace computers that would not be able to be upgraded to Windows 11. That's also to be looked at a little bit later on. The chomp saw that I talked about last time, we decided to put that into the Library of Things, but it will be able to be checked out, but only be used in the building. And we have it for a period of, I believe, 2 hours with 1 renewal. So that's something that people are able to come and cut up cardboard and then be able to make models and things like that.
But it can't leave the building.
It cannot leave. And it's supposed to be child safe, so I've tried to stick my finger in it and keep going.
That's good to hear. Is that for you guys to maybe track how often it's used? By checking it out?
Yeah, and then,
Is that kind of the goal?
and then be able to have a little bit more control over how much it's used as well. So if there's like 3 people who are wanting to use it at the same time, we're able to order that a little bit better if we have checkout, potentially hold available, stuff like that, if that makes sense.
Well, I know originally you said that it wasn't like gonna leave the building
Yeah.
for safety and possible reasons, even though you've stuck your finger in it, so you've got your finger out.
Do you have some kind of guidelines for what kind of cardboard people should bring in, or do you?
Just a regular cardboard. If it's not like a heavy duty cardboard, it
Regular
works
box
fine.
cardboard?
Just regular box cardboard. It also cuts fabric, denim, not heavyweight leather, but leather, foam, all sorts of stuff like that. So if somebody wanted to not use scissors to cut some denim or something to do a project, they could use that for it too.
Evergreen.
Budget
Yeah.
cuts?
So with the state level budget cuts, Evergreen is no longer able to provide library IQ for all of the libraries in Evergreen. That is a collection analytics tool that we're able to see like what kinds of materials are used, how frequently, how many we have, that sort of thing. Looking at it, they were offering a discount for Evergreen libraries for next year, and I did opt in to continue that service because it provides a lot of good information. Finances, we're still waiting for the 1782 notice. I'm kind of expecting that later this month. We have received a donation to the Community Foundation. They set up a new endowment for us that contains about $25,000. That will be able to provide about $1,000 a year to be used for genealogy and local history matters. This fund is called the Carl A. Enns and Lenore Horde Enns Genealogy Fund for the South Whitley Public Library. And the library has undergone its regular audit with the State Board of Accounts. It's gone fairly smoothly with only a few questions. I spoke with the auditor today. He was saying there were no official notes that have to be made, but he did give just a couple of recommendations. The exit meeting will be next Wednesday.
Are you guys doing anything for the holidays event? I didn't see you touch on that. It's not, I'm not putting you guys on.
Yeah.
uh,
I think the concerts is around that time frame. We're going to participate in the Walk of Trees.
Okay.
I think a lot of, that's primarily how we're participating.
When is
I
that?
think so.
Chris?
I'm
It's
not-
just-
Jen hasn't said anything,
That's-
so did we get the Christmas books on the handout?
Okay,
Yes, we got some Christmas books.
not the first
Yeah,
weekend,
so
the second
imagine
weekend?
Yeah, I think it's,
Yeah.
yeah, I got the 12th,
Yeah.
lighting Christmas
I
tree.
feel like they're doing something on the 5th, but maybe that's
Yeah, that's home for the holidays is actually the 5th.
5th.
The
Okay.
4th and 5th is home for the holidays, the tree walk is on the 4th, and the home for the holidays is the 5th.
Yeah.
And the lighted Christmas, Christmas parade is on the 12th.
I didn't know if you guys did anything for this last year or not. I just didn't.
Yeah, we had a table, and
Yeah, the
was able to hand out
brownstone.
books. Yeah, we were at the
We were
brownstone.
beside him, or group from church, yeah.
Mhm. I think Jen's planning on doing that again.
Okay.
Okay. Old business? Anyone? Anything? Okay, well, we can go on to new business with our agreement with the Cherubusco Public Library.
So we currently have a reciprocal borrowing agreement with the North Manchester Library. And that is just an agreement that says if one of our patrons goes to you, they can get a card, and vice versa. That's not something that we need with Peabody, because we're both evergreen libraries, so we're able to do that. Cherubusco also has one with Peabody. So if we did this agreement with Cherubusco, all three of the libraries, if you had a library card at one of them, you could get one at all, the other two. I think that would just be a good thing to have. And it's a fairly common thing, fairly standard form. I'm not even anticipating that would get used too terribly much, given the distance between us.
That would just allow the 3 Whitley County libraries to participate in the same agreement, so this could be, when you say Peabody, you mean
The Columbia City.
Columbia City.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be this, the language on the agreement would be the same, because the agreement between Cherubusco and Peabody is the exact same language as between us and North Manchester. I provided the agreement with North Manchester, and then Rachel from Cherubusco gave me their agreement with Peabody, and it's just the same language. I think that's pretty much the standard form for the state.
Was it brought up in a meeting with your directors? Or what came up?
I just reached out to Rachel. It was something that I've been thinking about, and I finally actually sent the email.
So what do we have to decide?
If you want
Want
put the
to do
agreement in
that?
place. Mhm.
And
And we,
why would we not do it with Peabody?
because we're both evergreen libraries, that's our operating library system.
Okay,
And the way that that works is it basically works like we already have the agreement.
okay.
Yeah, if you have an evergreen card.
If you have an evergreen
Evergreen
card, you
card.
can go to other evergreen libraries and get a card
Mm.
How many are there roughly right now?
of evergreen libraries.
Yeah,
I don't know.
okay.
It's a fair number.
Yeah, it's well over half, isn't it?
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
And they've just added a few more recently too.
Just thinking it was something over 100.
I was thinking it was over 100,
Okay.
which is.
But Cherubusco is not.
They are not.
If Cherubusco patron has a card with Peabody, is there a way to make sure they're in good standing before we would issue them a card?
So you would want to make sure that they were in good standing with Peabody or in good standing with Cherubusco?
Okay, if Cherubusco, well, you need to make sure they're in good standing with Cherubusco too, but if they already have an agreement with Peabody and they're checking things out Peabody, you don't want them library shopping just to take stuff out and not bring it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so that would be something that we can make the call to the other library. We put these in place when I was at Wabash, between the libraries in Wabash County, and that was how we handled it, is we just called them up and said, hey, is this person good to go, or do they have $200 worth of fines? And replacement fees on the card. It probably took a couple of minutes. I think with Peabody, we might be able to see a little bit more because of the Evergreen system,
Because they would be getting their,
because there's some connection there. I'm not 100% sure about that.
they'd be getting the blue Evergreen card instead of the green Evergreen card.
Need a motion to do this?
So Rachel and I were talking about bringing it to our boards this month and seeing if there was any discussion needed, and then doing a vote for it in December.
Okay.
You would draw the agreement up.
We would draw the agreement up and then
Review
review
it
it
in
in
December.
December.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think she brings up a good point that they need to be in good standing, probably with both. And it may say in the agreement.
Yeah, probably so.
But that's just an agreement to have in
Yeah.
place. That's not gonna really stop that person from not being in good standing with one of the other two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's more a process or procedure of issuing them a card through this library.
Yeah.
Does something pop up on the system at all that says, or you just know when you see the card that it's a Cherubusco resident?
That would be something that would pop up in the system.
It might trigger
We-
the clerks to say, oh, yeah, we gotta call Cherubusco to verify they're in good standing.
Yeah, if they brought in their Cherubusco card to say that they were a card holder there, we would then want to see that, and then we would contact Cherubusco, and then we would be able to get.
So you guys are alerted to it by having it, it's a different card?
Yeah, it's a different card. And then we would want to check addresses and stuff like that, to put all that information in the system. And yeah, we would want to call them to begin with, just to make sure it was in good standing, because we don't want somebody with a 10-year-old deactivated Cherubusco card that's not valid anymore. So,
And then we would still use the interlibrary loan for returning things, so they don't have to drive back and do that?
we could do that. It is specified in the agreement that we will tell people that if they borrow it from one library, it needs to go back to that library. Even right now, we still get stuff every now and then, and we can send it back through and Hopes Rest. It's gonna happen, but there's an avenue to take care of it. But we do specify that you're supposed to return it to the other library.
I don't see any reason we shouldn't.
Sounds good.
And then I will contact Rachel, and we will work on getting one set up for next month. As long as her board agrees with it, I think they meet next week. Then moving on to computers. So there were 9 computers that were specified by ABC that they wanted to be able to upgrade to Windows. They wanted to replace the computers due to issues with upgrading to Windows 11. They're currently Windows 10, which is unsupported, so it's not getting regular updates to protect against new viruses and things. We got a quote for 8 computers from ABC and a CASI migration to our server. Right now, we are running CASI, which is the program that we use to control public printing. We can control the logins to the public computers and stuff like that. We have that running on its own computer right now, and it is one of the computers. So we want to be able to migrate that to our server and run it off of our server instead of one computer, and then replace the other 8 computers. So replacing the 8 computers from ABC in total would be $13,226.64. And then the migration would be $960. So for that, I would like to be able to replace those computers. We would just need a vote to approve that. And then I would also like to spend those funds out of our rainy day fund, which is about $50,000, and we haven't spent anything out of that. We have $50,000 appropriated out of the
To use during the
300.
year.
And it's it's appropriated to use during this year. And it's for stuff like this that comes out, large unexpected expenses.
Anyone have any more discussion on it or questions about the computers?
Just out of curiosity, if you wouldn't use rainy day, what account would it normally come out of?
The computers would come out of furniture and equipment, and the migration I would take out of legal and technical, the 3.11. So I think for just the computers for furniture and equipment, it's
Knock it
right on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we would just need a vote to approve doing it, and then a vote for spending that money.
What's the pay-trade management bill?
What's that? Which one? Oh, that's an extra thing they tried to sell us on.
Is that
It
something
does
you wanted
basically
to
the same
do,
thing
or-
that Cassie does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I unchecked that. This
Okay.
is just the quote that they sent me. If you see the total on the next page, it's the 960, which is just.
And then the
really fast
migration's just the
migration.
labor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the technical side of getting it onto the actual server.
And ABC does all this?
Yep.
And what happens with in the library atmosphere, so you get a new Dell all in one, is there like a year warranty on it or something, or is it, what's that even look like for? I assume they have to cover it for something, but I don't,
I would assume they would have to. I don't know if it's listed on here though.
no big deal. I was
It
just
says there's a 3-year pro support.
3-year gross support. Yeah,
Okay.
So I would assume
I don't know what that means,
good
but-
warranty or something was detected.
Cool.
They're also the company that we pay for technical assistance. They cover our server and stuff like that as well. So we
Do
have
they
some-
take the old computers, or what happens to them?
We've been replacing some of the computers. Right now, we have those over there in the dungeon. I need to figure out the proper procedure for disposal of those. Because I know we want to make sure, like, the hardware, or the hard drives are fully wiped. And I'm pretty sure there's some state form that needs filled out to get rid of them. I just gotta find out.
I
which
just
state
take
form
mine
it
to
is.
the recycle and leave them alone,
Yeah.
in Whitley County.
And that, once we fill out the proper paperwork and get state approval. then-
Oh, you have to have approval because of the
Yeah.
library.
Yeah, because of the expense of it, I think we have to go through a process.
Are they worthless?
No, they're not worthless. The ones over there right now are the old patron computers, and they were working decently, but they were getting just on the older side. So we were just in the process of replacing them. If we hadn't replaced them, I suspect that 8 number would have been higher. Yeah, it's something that if we can maybe give them away or something, I would like to. I just need to figure out the right way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This gets all the computers to Windows 11, correct?
Yes.
You've already replaced some,
Mhm.
and those would have been the patron ones?
We replaced patron ones and about half the staff ones. These cover some of the other staff ones and the ones in front of us.
But that puts all of them on Windows 11, that
All
will
of
be
them?
supported.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many computers do we have here? Like 25 or so?
What, 8 or 10 patron ones? Bruce calendar had
22.
Okay. And they'll all be pretty much fresh this year then?
Over the last couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah, we replaced some of them last year and then some of them this year.
Okay.
Did you hear me, Ruth?
I'm
It
sorry.
kind of looked like you were counting.
I was.
Your
and-
your eyes were back one over your
I
left.
was doing math. I was going around the building.
Yeah, I think it's 22. There might be a laptop or two that is still Windows 10, and we might look at replacing that next year. But this gets all of the ones that are used on a regular daily basis taken care of.
Have you been replacing many of your computers with all-in-ones?
Yeah, I think all of them are all ones now. Yeah.
And they hold up pretty well with
Yeah.
everything in one place?
Yeah, they have so far.
This will put them all under a year old, right there. Then, won't this all of them be under a year old once they're replaced?
Once we did that,
Roughly.
next year, yeah, roughly.
Oh, so
I
you
think
just
it was about
started within
halfway
the
through
last
last
couple
year
of
that
years?
we replaced some of the bigger ones.
Yeah, we replaced some patron ones earlier this year.
Earlier this year, then, I think about half to 3/4 through the year last year, we did 5 and then 3 paid computers.
Are they have 0 time limit when they get on those things?
I don't think there's time yet. And that's not an issue.
But you have to unlock them for them to get on.
Yeah,
there.
we
You
have to get
do
a little
something.
password or they have one. if they have a card. But that's not an issue with everyone, but at least not one of them.
Okay, well, we'll have a motion to accept the bid for the replacements and the migration for our new computers.
I'll make a motion to replace the computers using rainy day fund, or is that the second?
We could do it all in one, yeah.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept the ABC quote for the 8 computers and the migration, as well as using rainy day funds.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We can go on to MIBS discussion.
Yes, so that is what I was talking about, the managed internal broadband service. So we put out quotes for that just because the contract is up next year. So we're just in the process of trying to renew the contract. I provided, AdTech provided summary of the 3 bids. Each of those bids was about 50 to 60 pages. And I worked with the AdTech representative to kind of go over this ranking on the front page. So we received a quote from Zio. That is the company that we currently go through. It was formerly ENA, they changed their name to Zio. They have the quote that best meets the technical specifications of what we put out. And they are the lowest bid, and I've been pleased with their service over the last 2 years. DataServe, they wanted some additional technology stuff in place, an additional firewall to make everything of their stuff work, which we already have a firewall, so that, I don't believe that was covered by E-rate, because we are getting 70% reduction with E-rate on these expenses. And then Rowing, they provided a strange quote that I believe part of it, a significant part of it was not covered by E-rate either. So my recommendation would be to go stick with Zayo, because they met the specifications the best. They met the specifications, they had the best price, and we've been pleased with their service.
Is that the total cost for the 5 years? Or is that 17,000 per year? Just out of curiosity. I mean, it says
Total 5-year managed service cost, so yeah, that's the 5-year.
over the 5
Yeah,
years.
it says 60 a month cost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then that would make the annual cost on below the 3408, which 85% of that apparently is covered by E-rate. So the out-of-pocket cost each month would be, no, the annual cost would be 511. Currently it's 387, but that was the contract put in place 5 years ago. So.
Nice to have it for 5 years.
How are the other 2 estimated monthly costs less than Zaya's? I'm looking at data search correctly. It says the estimated, it's got cut off, but
That's a monthly cost.
Yeah.
Zayo is, I believe that's annual.
oh, Zayo's is annual.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, so we would be billed
The
once
other-
during
the other
the year.
two- the other
would
two
be
are
monthly.
monthly. The other 2 monthly.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the Zayo 5-year pricing for our internet. Is that right?
MIDS is what most people call it.
Okay.
I mean, given it's the same company that we're working with now,
Yeah.
and it's the lower of the three costs.
And you're happy
we're not-
with it?
and We're
I'm
not,
happy with the service, yeah.
we're not losing anything. I'll make a motion to accept Zayo's bid at $17,040.
And second,
All right, I have a motion to accept and a second to accept the bid from Zayo. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We want to go on to our 2025 audit discussion.
So I added that on there in case there was anything that needed discussed. But after talking with him today, there's nothing that really needs discussed. And the exit interview was next week. He was saying that it was a pretty standard thing. Like I said, there was no official notes about anything. He raised a couple of recommendations about formatting our capital assets ledger a little bit differently. There was a strange thing that happened in 2021, 2022 surrounding some ARPA grant expenditures, and that was related to COVID. And what was it? There were a couple of funds, I believe in 2022, maybe 2023, that went to the negative that we fixed afterwards. It dripped down since then. Pay attention to that.
And there was an issue this year with, wasn't it computers taken out of ARPA instead of,
That was the confusion with 2021.
that's what
Because there were ARPA funds that were needing to be used, they were going to be spent on one thing, and then those things, it was going to be spent on a bench, which that bench suddenly became unavailable, and then that funds were spent on a computer, and then the bench became available, and so there was just, and it was right at the end of the year, and it was just a little bit strange, and that was yeah, so there's nothing that really is discussed as far as the audit goes. Like I said, I put that down there just to have it down there in case something goes.
you coming to that meeting next Wednesday?
I can.
You know who the auditor was?
Yeah, yeah. Brandenburg.
Yeah.
And I asked him if he worked with Terry Goodrich. And he goes, yeah, a long time ago. But yeah, Terry, that's what Terry Goodrich did. Very quiet guy. Plays golf most nights by himself, wins the club championship at Sycamore. Yep.
So then the next thing would be salary discussion.
Okay, thank you, Ruth.
Get out of here, Ruth.
And then we discussed previously, we were gonna turn the camera off during the salary and bonus discussion.
Will you put years of experience on that next time?
Yeah.
Just so we have a rough idea for us to, we don't have as much knowledge as you.
Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Those are the copies.
Gotcha.
I'll have this one to give you.
Okay. We go on to miscellaneous then?
You had two other voters too, when you just did that meeting.
Okay.
They agreed with us.
They did.
It's going.
Anything, guys? No?
Anything from the public?
Any comments?
What about that blue evergreen library card I heard about?
Oh,
yeah,
my
that's
goodness.
Evergreen library card.
Yeah,
You're on the fast
yeah,
track,
yeah. There's supposed to be a blue.
Computer.
A blue one.
That's a different library.
Non-residents.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yes. That's not South, that's
The
not.
green one's the
South-
really
The green
cool
one
one.
is the one that gives you the fast pass everywhere. Yeah.
Oh,
We're signing the same?
One's for staff, one's
He's
for
listed.
director.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought that was the computer one.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, computer we can't do.
Okay. We can adjourn our meeting tonight at 7 o'clock, and we'll be back December 8th.